Hi guys, welcome back to Pure Mind Podcast, and I am still your host, the one and only, the Black Queen herself. If you've stopped by for the very first time, hello, you are so very welcome. Thank you for joining. Make sure you subscribe and like, of course. And for the regulars, what's up? Thank you for sticking with me. I've been gone forever. Why? I can't explain much, but I'll explain maybe later on. But for now, all I can say is I'm working on a lot of stuff that I am going to be bringing for you guys. I hope it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a fun ride, so make sure you stay tuned, okay? What we're gonna be talking about today, basically it's about traveling. Yes, you had me right. The first thing, if you notice, is people in Europe are always traveling from one place to the other. And probably you'll be wondering, these mother effers are so rich now, they're not damn rich. It's because it's easy, It is very easy to travel from one country to another one within the European countries, yes. It's even cheap, yes, very cheap. I remember my friend told me, well, I flew from Sardinia to here and the flight was €9. But, if anyone knows, we all know that Sardinia, it's just an island, but it's part of Italy. But it's crazy that you can also go to Paris, France, for less than €100, less than €50, depending on your time of booking. It is cheap, really cheap, and you don't have an excuse, You can go to, Spain, Greece. I think Greece is really beautiful. I'm thinking to visit there soon. How soon is soon? Sooner than before you know it. And I think it's beautiful, It's also good for someone to travel to different parts of the world, different countries. Because in every place you go you find new cultures, new norms, new ways of life, and if you get to see that, you get to appreciate, and it's the top part of life. Hey, can you all imagine if everything was the same? I could, what I've noticed on social media is everyone almost looks the same. Everyone wants to look like the other. I think we are all beautiful, in our uniqueness, I'm not consoling myself. People tell me, oh no, girlfriend, you're consoling. No, I am not, okay? The different parts of the world, different cultures, different people. The moment you get to see that, you interact with the people, with the locals, I think you appreciate more, someone who have traveled to other countries, other continents, those people are different, I have met the city I live in here in Italy. It's a small city. It's a secret I'm going to whisper. It's a small city with the highest population of people are elderly, if I can say that. And if someone asks me, what is that one thing you noticed in Piacenza? And I'm like, Piacenza is a small city. It's a great city for work and studying. That is all I can say. The way of life, I don't know, and interaction, I can't really say much on that because I feel like they lack so much in that department. But also, let's not forget that you can find out, or you can find someone and then you ask them, so where have you been? Just within here. Someone has never moved out of their city. If they've gone, they've just gone to nearby, Milan. Come on, Milan is just 50 minutes by train. It's 50 minutes by train. So just the way Italians say, or that doesn't count, or Bologna, it's like 2 hours. it's close, it's too close, so it's almost similar. But if you've met some people who have traveled, they are really different, you know. They look at the world differently, they reason differently, they do other stuff differently. The way they associate or socialize with others, it's obviously different. And if you happen to find someone who have not been out of Piaches or out of the nearby cities, they are different, very different, and we can't really, criticize them. That is also what they think is the right thing for them. But also, if you have a chance to travel, please do so. Because also traveling is part of learning, you know. This is what I personally believe. I didn't learn this from school. I kind of just got to, stick with it that, someone who have traveled the world, this is someone who's exposed, someone who have seen more than, they've interacted with lots of people from different parts of the world. Their reasoning capacity is also different, absolutely. They do not reason the same. When they are talking, the experiences they've gained, I think it's cool, it's dope. So if you have the chance, hey, travel the world. Not only in Europe, but in all the part of the world. I encourage people, if you have the opportunity, if you have the resources, if you're fortunate enough, spend your damn money on traveling. I think that is what is more, more important, because with the traveling, you get stuck with the experiences. But if you just go to eat somewhere there, or you go to do something, yeah, it's not bad, it's great, but there is no experience, you have not learned something new. Because if you're going to play soccer, it's soccer, duh. What else are you gonna learn apart from just playing the football? Or if you're gonna play the volleyball or netball or basketball, it's the same thing. I mean, it's great for your health. It's great for, also your mental health, physical state, your health in general. It is, because it's important to be active. But someone who have traveled learns more. I mean, there's no way that I've seen that it's written that sports or this is part of learning, but I've seen it somewhere written that traveling is part of learning, because you learn new things, new people, new culture, new custom, new norms, new religion. It's cool. I love it. And if you're there and you do all of these sports, don't say Mercy said we shouldn't. Do it and do you. But also, if you have the opportunity, please use it wisely. I have seen people who are like, oh, I've been to Germany. And if you don't know, you're like, oh my God, Germany. No, it's close, okay? It's very close, and it's also cheap. If you just have to plan your trip or your vacation or your whatever it is in advance, because the earlier you book your flights or you organize for you whatever you want to organize, the cheaper it is. If you at the last moment, you just pay more. That is what I can say. And also, if you budget strategically, for instance, in August, everyone is in summer, summer holidays. So if you can go in July, I mean, even July, some people are already free. But September, just try to avoid the public, holidays. That is when you can travel cheaply, without August, because that's when the summer holidays, without December, that is also the Christmas holidays, and without the Easter period, because of the Easter holidays. Other than that, it's quite cheap, okay? The flight shouldn't be as expensive as, on those days. even the train, you can just get a train from wherever you are. I remember one day we were so bored and we were within some group of people and I was like, guys, let's go to France, Lyon. And we started the process of booking. And then we started seeing, okay, we leave today, then blah, 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 the hours. We were like, no, let's go to other part. And then we ended up going to Rimini, which is the southern part of Italy. The only thing that kind of annoys me is sitting on the plane or the train for those long hours. But it's bearable. Nothing is not bearable because, some of us come from long places. So we sit for more than 10 hours in the plane, or you almost spend the entire day, 24 hours, because you have to get to the airport some 2 or 3 hours earlier. You wait for your flight, you book, then you change, you wait, then you it's quite a lot. But if you want to go, for instance, within the European countries, it's cheap. And it's also, it's close, for instance, France is just here, Germany is just here, Greece is here. The flights are, not a lot. For instance, one can be 1 hour and 30 minutes, 1:45, 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes, and then you have the chance to visit or to see all these beautiful places. And I think it's pretty a cool idea because not only are you interacting, but you also get to learn because some of these places have beautiful museums that you can visit and see, or some of the ancient places. For instance, if you go to Rome is something else. They have all these ancient buildings where they have some of the histories that took place. For instance, when you see I went to France and then I'm like, what is this? It's the Eiffel Towers. And what is the story behind it? When you're in Milan, the Duomo, the cathedral, that church, it is beautiful. When you go inside, you can read all the history or all the stories or what inspired certain stuff, or in the museum, what are some of these things that are inside. You see a lot of stuff, which is pretty cool, because even here in Piacenza there is a museum. I had an opportunity to work there for 2 weeks because I was among the teachers who were conducting the summer camp, and it has all these beautiful architectures, and I'm like, wow, this art is beautiful, and this lady was explaining, well, this was the Romans, this was the the Greek, this was the blah, and she was explaining. I was like, how cool is that, And for instance, if you just came to visit Piacenza, or you go to visit a certain place, look for some of the places that can add your knowledge, add some information into your life. For instance, there is so many churches here in that it's crazy. One day we were walking around the street with my friend, and she told me, this is no longer a church. I'm like, what do you mean it's no longer a church? It's a church, can't you see? She was like, yeah, but they no longer conduct mass inside. This was the church in the era of Napoleon Bonaparte. He came and, I think I cannot say that, but he got some stuff from the church, and now it is used, or it is famous for tourist attraction. You can go visit, you see all the history. I don't know why they still call it a church. I have no idea, but that was the story. And then when you go to Verona, the two lovebirds, the story, these young kids who are so in love. It's fun, it's beautiful. When you go to Florence, people are like, oh, the city of love, romance. And I don't know if it is the city of love and romance, but that's what people say. If I'm not mistaken, the ex-husband of Kim Kardashian, before, when they were still together, they had numerous numbers of wedding. When they came to Italy, they went there to, that's where they got married. And then when you go to Genova, it's beautiful. Just Portofino, which is famous for all the people. I remember we went there, and there are all these famous people. There was also a photo of Donatella. She's there. I mean, Donatella, of course, she's an Italian, but these are some of the famous places that they visit. There's also a castle which was next to it. That's where also is it the Courtneys, got married. Travers got married from. It's just so much thing to see around. It's within the country. There's a lot of things, but I believe you can also go outside the country, because in my head I feel like, yes, Portofino, it's beautiful. They speak Italian, and Italian can go there. But imagine someone from France going there, with all the beautiful natures. The sea is also beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the one in Sardinia. That is official. My favorite is Alghero. I even told my friend, I was like, yo, this looks so beautiful. I feel like we're in LA. She was like, you said it right, we're in LA. I mean, it's LA in Alghero. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So just travel, maximize your time well, especially when you're young. What better way can you spend your youth time apart from traveling, But make sure you're careful. Do not travel alone. I like traveling alone, but also sometimes I travel with friends. So it depends on who you are. Be safe and have fun. Enjoy the nature, If you can, why not? If not now, then when will it be, You should not wait until you're 60 to travel. There's nothing wrong with traveling when you're in 60s, 70s, 80s. But I think it's much more fun when you're younger. You can run around. We went to Rome and we were everywhere, It's cool because you still have the energy, you're energetic, you can go around. We went to Vatican. From Vatican we left, we went to Colosseum, we left, we went to, we were all over the place, and we're young, so we're enjoying. It's cool. And for me, it was a nice experience because, yes, I live in Italy, but I'm not an Italian. I had also not seen those things before. So now just seeing them and then, reading the story of the Colosseum, what really used to take place in the ancient days. I knew because I studied, the history, and also there's a part of divinity, what the Romans used to do. I knew the story by head or by heart, but now seeing it makes it even so much better. So, it is what it is. And I mean, you don't have to know the story or you don't have to read it. You can see, because sometimes there are tour guides who explain everything. This one is like this is like this is what happened, this was so and so, which is pretty cool. So if you have the chance, go visit it out. That is it for now. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.